And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day of the World Team League 2024 Summer Code A, day number 5. I'm of course StarCraft VIP, and with me I'm joined by these amazing teams and amazing players. Welcome to another day of the World Team League. Again, we have been cutting through the fat here. We've been working through Code A, and we have our first 2 qualified teams. We have Berserker Esports alongside Team Little Fairy. They've both made it into Code S, and now we have 1 spot left. We have 1 spot left for Code S, and these 4 teams are going to be fighting for that 1 spot. Oh boy, 4 teams enter. 1 team will make it through, as we have our lineups here for tonight. We have OFFSYDE versus the Starving Camels, and we have Club NV versus Team Hyperberg. Oh boy, 2 best of 7s here tonight. These are elimination matches, and again, the prize at the end of the tunnel is a qualifying seed for Code S. Here we go. Here we go. The pressure is on, and up first we have OFFSYDE versus SSLT. And we kick things off with Firefly versus TooDming in a PvZ, followed by a mirror matchup ZVZ between Rex and Silky. And at the end of the night, we have uThermal versus Espoir in a random versus Terran. Oh boy. Here we go. The best of 7 is upon us. As a reminder, this best of 7 is comprised of best of 2s, and this is a bittersweet matchup because this is Firefly, the ace player of OFFSYDE, now going up against the Starving Camels, his old team. His old team full of friends that he knows near and dear. I do know that they still keep in touch even though they're not on the same team anymore. So, oh boy, it's a bit of a blast from the past here, as game 1 is going to be taking place on Ghost River. Oh boy. Our PvZ is upon us, and if you're in the chat, predictions will soon be open. Predictions are now open, as you can place your bets on who you believe will take this series. It's going to be a best of 2, so it can go 2-0 either direction, or a 1-1 tied score. Up to you to decide the fate of these players, or to guess the fate of these players. As we're getting ready here for game number 1, again, Ghost River is very much so a rush map, a very short rush distance by ground. You can be very aggressive, very assertive. We've seen a lot of all-ins on this map. We've seen them win, we've seen them succeed, and we've also seen them fail. I imagine that TooDming is going to be on top of that. I imagine TooDming wants to try to come out swinging. It's going to be on TooDming to lead the charge here for his team. But it's going to be a tough one, again, as Firefly, I would say, is the ace player of his team. Oh boy, we do see OFFSYDE coming out swinging here, and we'll see if the Starving Camels can swing back. Because it's a best of 2, if you're curious how this format does work, the first map is predetermined, is chosen by the organizers and admins ahead of time. The players, when they are chosen, when the lineup is chosen, I should mention, they don't know the maps then. It's after the lineups are submitted, after the lineups are set in stone, then the starting map is revealed to the teams. From here, it's going to be loser's pick. It's going to be loser's pick here, so whether Firefly takes a loss or TooDming, they will be able to bounce back in a prepared map for a prepared match. That is why this best of 2 format, we see very often upsets, because the underdog can always come in prepared ahead of time. They can spend a couple of days, once they know what the lineup is, they can spend a couple of days kind of trying to figure out what build they want to whip out on what map. And here we go, spawning in the top right hand corner, we have Firefly for OFFSYDE. And in the top left, we have TooDming for the Starving Camels. Here we go. But yeah, this kind of format does favor preparation, and just because you can whip out a map and blindside your opponent with a specialized build, that's why we've seen some really big pop-offs here with lesser players taking down some bigger teams. But here we go as we get into game number 1. A big shout out to Eva. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Fun fact, we raided Eva and Eva raided us. The circle of life, the circle of life. Hope you had a great time. I know Eva, he was laddering as his main race. He was laddering Protoss. So hope you were able to get some ladder points. Do well. Hope you had a good time. Hope you enjoyed yourself. It's the biggest thing. And ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Welcome everyone. Welcome to the beginning of day 5 of World Team League Code A. And here we go. We do have TooDming going for a hatch first, just for now, going for a hatch gas pool, standard opener here out of TooDming. And important to bear that in mind, because I was expecting something more aggressive, and we could still see aggression out of TooDming as we load into Ghost River. For now, Firefly is being as annoying as possible. He was forced to cancel and replace his pylon, so a bit of a shaky start out of Firefly. Not the biggest of deals, but it is an inefficient start here from him, as Firefly is going for a gate expand into his Cybercore. You know, the probe will get the hell out of there, does confirm the standard opener of the Zerg player. We'll race back home, and we're settling into game number 1. I destroyed Strange. Oh, in PvP? You're an animal, papi, you're an animal. Este Protoss player. Shaking my head, shaking my head. Re-raid, yes, yes. And welcome everyone else in the chat as well. Shout out to, I see Jadoff, I see Kuro, aka 16 Seki, Sounder, Wormshik, Jen Dobre. I saw Night Phoenix as well. Hello, welcome, hope you're doing well. Congratulations, Night Phoenix, by the way. I did see that you joined a new team. And I hope they treat you well. Hope you are reinvigorated when it comes to competing in StarCraft and in Stormgate. Wish you the best. Wish you the best. And of course, I stand as he did come first, as it usually does. Meanwhile, we're going to be settling into our game. But now we have our probe active on the map, trying to get a read on how many lings that do pop out. Trying to get a read on any kind of aggression from TooDming. Adept has arrived. Behind this, we have our tech of choice. It's going to be a Stargate opener here out of Firefly. With that Stargate, should be leading into Oracle-based play. Should be leading into a third base as well. And as we get into this, a big shout out as well to Divinesia TV. Oh my god. Thank you so much for the raid. I hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great cast. Shout out to Divinesia, as they are a Finnish caster or a fishing casting team. So thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed yourself. Hope you had a great time. And welcome everyone to the World Team League. Welcome. Torilla, papi, torilla. As for now, we do have a lair, very fast lair out of TooDming. Oh my god, that was what, a 3-minute lair timing. With this lair timing, of course, we can head in a couple of different directions. This could be for a Link Queen Nidus all in. It could be for maybe a Link Flood with Dropper Lords as well. It is possible. We'll keep an eye on him, as Firefly does shade into the main base, does scout, does confirm the timing of the lair. Firefly now knows that something is amiss, something is wrong, and we'll piece together what exactly this is going to be. Only one gas has been taken, only one gas to work with. We're still making Lings, still making Queens. I'm feeling some Nidus play, but we'll see, as TooDming does have an Overlord poised to go into the main. You can see there on the minimap, there is an Overlord headed into the main base for a potential Nidus, and there it is. That Nidus Storm has been thrown down, as we did mention, with that faster lair. This is the only thing it could be, or one of the only things it could be. The other thing is potentially, you know, Dropper Lord play, as uThermal has been quite fond of that. Oracle's going to be dipping into the main. We have not gotten eyes on the infestation bit yet, sorry, on the Nidus Swarm yet, but again, Firefly can piece it together. I'm sure this is in the back of his mind as a possibility of what it could be, and the Oracle does confirm the Nidus Worm. Big scout there from Firefly. Lings, they get across the map. They're going to be applying some pressure here to the third base. So far, good positioning out of Firefly. Doesn't lose too much, doesn't lose anything actually, and that's a lot of Lings in position. And here we go, Nidus Worm straight into the main base. It is spotted. It is going to be seen here by Firefly. At the same time, Lings are going to be hitting that third base, going for a surround on the Oracles, sorry, on the Adepts. But the Oracles are there to support, and the Nidus is denied. Nidus Worm is going to be denied. One Adept goes down, and it looks like we will break this third base. Yeah, the Nidus Worm only had Queens inside. Lings, they break through the pylon, they break through the Adepts, and the third base is cancelled. So far, so good. I mean, that's a good pickup. Meanwhile, TooDming, he's still making 20 more Lings behind this. He's still all in. He's still completely all in, not turning back, not turning around, going for the gateway. And it looks like he will be able to focus it down. Good surface area here on that gateway. Shield is trying to keep it up and running. We have another Nidus Worm here behind the gas geysers. Overcharge is keeping the gateway alive. But the Nidus, it's going to finish. The Nidus Worm will complete. Queen's going to be popping out as well. Can we handle this? That's a lot of Queens. That's a lot of Queens, and that's a lot of Lings that are coming their way, or making their way out as well. Overcharge was already spent on the gateway. Good positioning with the Stalkers. Very nice positioning. One Stalker goes down. But so little surface area on those Stalkers. Second Stalker falls, but we clean up every single Ling. And you can see Firefly push on forward. The shield battery does finish, and he's focusing down that Nidus Worm. Oh, no transfuse. It does not stay alive. And these Queens, there's no way out. It's a one-way trip. Despite the transfuses, every Queen here is going to be cleaned up. And even with another Nidus into the main base, what is there really even in that Nidus? GG gets called, and Firefly will take game number 1. Whew. GG. A solid game number 1 there out of Firefly. Again, very good scout. He saw the lair very early on. Remember, it was a 3-minute lair, and he saw it around 3 minutes 20, 3 minutes 30. He saw it before it did complete with his Adept Shade. Upon seeing that, he of course was rattling off what it could be, whether it's, you know, a Link Queen like Drop a Lord based all-in, or a Nidus, or if additional gases were being taken. Firefly did figure out what it was, did get confirmation with the scouting, of course, did see the Nidus swarming entirely, and he was able to shut it down. And sure, the all-in did deny the third base. That's true. Third base was denied, but we were all in. Denying a third is not good enough. Not with TooDming continuing to bump out Lings behind us. He had to kill his opponent. And Firefly was able to buy time, able to pull back, did not overcommit to the third base, and yeah, was able to have a cool, calm, and collected defense in that natural base. Even though the Nidus Storm did finish in the natural, you saw Firefly not panic at all. Again, just pull back, make use of his make use of the terrain, make use of his building placement, the Sim City, and he was able to clean up all those Lings even without Blink. Very well done. Even without a shield battery overcharge, which is that much more impressive. GG, well played. With that, Firefly does take the first game, and now it's going to be TooDming's map of choice. As a reminder, the way this format works is that it is loser's pick. So TooDming takes a loss, but he will be able to pick the map here to fight back, to bounce back, and I'm sure he's coming in prepared with a specialized build. TooDming versus Firefly, I don't expect a macro game from TooDming. I don't favor him in that position, but I do know he has a lot of all-ins up his sleeve, and oh my, we are going for Post-Youth. Let's go. Post-Youth is going to be coming up as game number 2, a very interesting map. Post-Youth has a free hybrid base in your main base. It also has a gold, and we have seen some Zerg players be brazen enough to take that gold as their natural. We have seen some Zerg players rush into that gold base very early on to take it as their natural, maybe even take it as their third base, but regardless, aggression is very possible on this map. Earlier today, we casted Dark in the KSL, and Dark was even able to pop off with his own, what was it, a 4-hatch before gas build on Post-Youth. It was disgusting. It was crazy, and here we go. In the top right-hand corner, we have Firefly for OFFSYDE. And in the bottom left, we have TooDming for the Starving Camels. Here we go. And really, my eyes are peeled on TooDming. What build do we go for? Looking at his minimap, he's going for the gold! If you look at the minimap, you can see his camera. He has set a location at the gold base, and he should be going for the gold as his natural. I'm zooming in. Show us the drone, papi. We'll see. We'll see if he does take it that early on. Sure, it's in the back of his mind. And no, sorry, he is not going to the gold. He's going to his natural hybrid base first. He did set his camera at that gold, but it looks like he's not going for it as his natural. Oh, meanwhile, a shout out to the sponsors. Of course, a shout out to the sponsors of WTL, a shout out to Doyu, Biu, Autoful, and Tidal as well. Without our lovely sponsors, this event could not be possible. Unfortunately, a lot of those sponsors are based in China, and if you're outside of China, you can't really, like, make use of them, or you can't really support them in many ways. So it's a bit of a shame when it comes to the international scene, but regardless, it's really cool to see the support that this event is getting. Really do appreciate it. As TooDming is going Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener so far. Hatch Gas Pool. We'll see when and if he does take the gold and how he does make use of it. For now, we do see Firefly likewise going for a gate expand into Cybercore. So far, everything is as it should be. The biggest difference here is that Post-Youth, of course, allows you to get your natural without too much issue. It's a hybrid base, so you have additional mineral income here as well, more than you normally would. And your 2-base setup is very defendable. Very defendable 2-base setup here. Should be pretty safe and sound to any kind of early game aggression. Should be perfectly safe and sound. Here we go. We do have Firefly moving in with his probe. Is going to be scouting and is going to be being an annoyance, tasing away at those drones, disrupting some of the mining. Not able to do much else as the probe does get the hell out of there. And I'm sure Firefly wants to get eyes on any would-be third base at the standard third location or the gold. The probe does try to dip back in. Ooh, but is going to be shut down by the Lings. Lings are going to get on top of it. And we have our take of choice. It's going to be a Stargate opener from Firefly. Everything looking just like game number 1. Nothing crazy, no big deviation from Firefly, no major tech switch. And on a map like Post-Youth, I don't really expect too much of that. Again, this map is quite large. There's a lot of bases to be taken. I have attributed this map a little bit to last season's Radisson Station. It isn't as extreme as Radisson Station when it comes to like how heavily fortified you can get on 4 bases. On 4 bases. So it's not that extreme, as TooDming is making a wave of lings. Interesting. His third base has been thrown down at the standard third base location. He's not going into the gold. My eyes are definitely on TooDming here. I'm intrigued, as lings are floating across the map as we speak. Ling speed still on the way. TooDming, he wants to deny that third base. I don't see him breaking into the natural, but he's still making lings. He's just, it's a ling flood, straight up. He's cutting workers at 23. He has not made a single drone in quite some time. He's just flooding lings across the map instead. There is no Baneliness, bear that in mind. Will this work out? This hasn't been scattered at least. The Oracle moves out, and we do get eyes on the lings, but the boys have been pulled. We're going for a drone drill. Oh my god. We can mine through the minerals. Again, there is a mineral wall on the left-hand side, and we can mine through them. We have a full wall behind this Oracle, behind this Stalker even. We have a full wall. Oracle's going ham as well. I like the ingenuity here of bringing those drones, but alas, they will not mine through. The wall is solid, and we focus down almost every single worker. Oh, we have 2 patches left. One more. The patch is going to be opening up, but we're running out of lings. There we go. We have an opening in that wall, but we have a full wall behind it. Firefly is looking solid. Lings are trying to break through. It is a full wall. And the Oracles are running out of energy. Let's go. They are out of energy. The pylon is going to be going down. Do we have another wall behind it? We do. Do you have another pylon? And if given enough time, these Oracles, they will be able to activate the pulsar beam once again. Another pylon falls. Clutch shield battery. Shield battery. Clutch force field. Would you save that pylon? But the gateway is going to fall. The Lings, they bust in. The Lings, they do barely break in. They're going to surround on the sentry. They're going to surround on the Adepts as well. And TooDming, has he done it? The boys are being pulled, but the Adepts, they're going down. Has he done it? Probes are falling. We have the overcharge. Overcharge barely does pop. We keep the probes alive. Again, the Oracles, they still need more time. And the wall, I believe, is still open. We need to wall off. Yeah, the Oracles activate their beams. Adepts will clean up these Lings. We have another wave coming in behind this. We do fully wall off in time. GG gets caught. Firefly, he does hold. And Firefly takes a 2-0 lead here. Takes down TooDming 2-0. Whew. GG. And I have seen some players try this. This is not the first time we've seen Zerg players go for some kind of flood, go for some kind of all-in, and pull the boys to mine out those minerals. Unfortunately, it took a little bit too long. As we saw there, it's multiple layers of minerals at that wall, or it takes multiple rotations of drones, and alas, it took a little bit too long to mine through that wall. Firefly was able to wall up just in time as well. Not just that, but Firefly was intentionally focusing down drones with his oracles, making sure that it did take as long as it did to mine through those minerals. And with that, Firefly does defend. But I'll be honest, I'm sure that at some point in the near future, we're going to see an all-in that works doing that, where you bring workers and you mine through those minerals and you go for the all-in. Like, I want to believe that we're going to see that at some point. We haven't seen it yet, but at some point we will. Fingers crossed. One day, Papi, one day. Until then, we're getting into our second series here. Our second best of 2. It is going to be Rex versus Silky in a ZVZ. A strong start for OFFSYDE, but again, Firefly is the strongest player on OFFSYDE, so he was expected to come in swinging and come in with a 2-0 with a big win. TooDming almost caught him off guard, almost caught him with his pants down, unable to. But this is the moment where Silky can bounce back. Silky, I would say, is currently the strongest player on the Starving Camels. With the loss of Firefly, with the loss of Cyan, Silky, he is going to have to take that mantle. And here we go in the top left-hand corner, we have Rex for OFFSYDE. And in the bottom right, we have Silky for the Starving Camels. Silky, I would say the best Zerg player in all of China. Is the best player, and again, it's on Silky here to start to bounce back for his team, to start to fight back here, to give his team a chance to make it and qualify for Code S. The pressure is on. The problem, of course, is that Rex is no slouch. Rex, he's the best Zerg player in all of Taiwan. He is the Kong, of course, himself, the king even. And interesting, Rex is going for a pull first. Okay. We have a pull first opener here out of Rex, very safe. With this, it should be a pull into hatchery into gas. Meanwhile, Silky going for a hatch first. So standard opener from Silky. And again, I imagine a safe opener out of Rex. As he's going to be joining up to 17. And there we go, now he's going for the hatchery. Now, with this earlier spawning pool, I believe we should be banking up larva and going for some lings early on. Not too many. I'm imagining 6 at most. We're going to be moving out to try to harass, to try to pick up some workers, to try to gain a bit of an economic lead. And there it is. 6 lings are on the way. Behind this, we should be droning. It's going to be 6 lings into drones, into a queen. And from here, I imagine Rex is going to be walling up on 2 bases and going 2 base roach. The gas is not too late, though. So the gas is going to be delayed for Rex. That's the reason why I assume that Rex is playing 2 base roach, because his gas is so late, because it's going to take a while for him to catch up when it comes to ling speed and get into ling bait. As lings are skirting around the edge, hoping to avoid the overlords. They do avoid the first one, but they do get eyes on, or they do get caught by the second. Silky does have eyes on those lings, and he should be evacuating his natural. Again, he has to be very careful and he has to take this seriously. It's on Rex right now to try to pick up some workers, and there we go. He does pull back, does evacuate. And based on the micro of Silky, it's on him to minimize his drone losses. Oh, so far doesn't lose any yet. So far so good. Queen is on the way. You can see Rex trying to camp those eggs. Oh, and he gets us around. Gets one. Gets 2 lings. Good catch. Does manage to get 2 lings, and again, he's going to be camping that area, hoping for some more damage. Oh, almost gets another ling as well. Queen does arrive. Good positioning here in that mineral line, but 2 more lings go down. Very nice trades here from Rex, but he's finally going to be forced back. Oh, he goes for the dive on that drone. He wants it. Oh, it's close, and he does get a worker. Whew. And with that, Rex takes a worker lead. We have 26 drones to the 23 of his opponent. Not a bad trade. You can see here we traded 6 lings for 6 lings and 1 drone. So barely did out-trade his opponent. And we spoke about it. Rex is walling up. He has an Evo chamber on the way. Oh, but he does have ling speed. Okay, very interesting. So what's happening right now, I believe, and we have, I could be wrong here, but I believe Rex, he's walling up and he's faking out roach play. And he should be going for a ling flood. Otherwise, there's not much reason to invest into ling speed, whereas that could otherwise be spent on roaches instead. +1 carapace is on the way. Okay, never mind. This is looking like a more old school build. If you remember, it was last year. It was last year, first half of 2023, where this roach ling all-in kind of was quite prevalent in the meta in ZVZ. It did fall off eventually after like a good half a year of play. But it looks like we are making lings, of course, but with +1 carapace on the way, that does show us that we intend to go into roaches behind it, that we do intend for a follow-up. Now, what's important here is that because Rex is walling up, and because he's hiding these lings, again, he's faking out roach play, and that means that Silky will not have a Bailey Nest. Silky, he will not have a Bailey Nest to defend. He assumes that his opponent is also skipping ling speed, which is what Silky has done, by the way. He has skipped it, and here we go. We're flooding lings across the map, and we should at least deny the 3rd base. We could even do more than that. As Silky, he doesn't have ling speed, he doesn't have any roaches, he has nothing to defend, only queens and SimCity. And he does have a full wall. We're going for it. Okay, we're back. I'm like, is he going to try and bust in? He gets a 3rd. He gets a 3rd for free. Again, this ling flood, what did catch Silky off guard, was unprepared for this. The hatchery will go down. Good pickoff. Lings, the wall's open. The wall is open. We'll go for the queens. But the roaches, they come out just in time. The queens are safe, and Rex has to back off. And from here, we get into Roach v Roach. But remember, because of +1 carapace, that is an upgrade that does benefit both lings and roaches. And we could try to go for a roach ling timing behind it, but never mind. We have +1 range on the way. We're getting into a longer game. We're droning. We are droning up. We're getting into Roach v Roach. Rex has the advantage of the faster 3rd base, as his is about to finish. Silky's just now starting. And we'll keep an eye on Silky's drone count, because he's amassing roaches, and he may not stop. Silky, his hand may be forced. I mean, he's got an earlier +1 range timing. Is still making roaches. We do see Rex droning. Meanwhile, Silky is not. Uh-oh. No drones yet. Not inside here for Silky. Still amassing roaches. Yeah, overlords are on the way. Bit of a supply block for Silky, which is brutal. We have 3 overlords in production as a result. But I believe Silky shouldn't be droning from here. Thankfully, Rex doesn't drone up too much. He did make 45 workers as opposed to the 42. Ooh, Rex, he's making another wave of drones. That is dangerous. And here comes the all-in. Here comes a push here from Silky. And Rex, has he droned up too much? Or is he going to be able to hold on? He does have the ramp. Does have the high ground. He has a defender's advantage. Silky going to be forcing his way in. He does have the rich lead. Queens, they do come in to help support. We do have a transfuse. We had one in the chamber. And Silky, can we break through? Reinforcements are coming in. Queens as well coming in to support. And Silky, he's being forced back. Rex, he holds. As Silky's forced back, he's droning. Rex, he got away with a better economy for longer there. And the game will progress. Whew, okay. The game will progress from here. Let's go. Let us go. As Silky gonna be splitting up his forces, heading for that natural. Does pull back. And we're kind of stabilizing here. Rex does have the upgraded advantage with +1 carapace, but in Roach v Roach, carapace is not the most impactful of upgrades, so it doesn't matter as much here. It is still a nice lead that he has. As from here, we're going to be droning up. Silky droning up to 57, by the way. It's going to be Rex's turn to all in. Rex, he has cut workers at 48. He has not made a single drone in quite some time. Ever since the initial defense. And Rex is going for a massive counter push, and he is up 20 supply. Uh-oh. He's up 20 army supply. He collapses on the army here of Silky. Remember that upgrade advantage as well. And Silky gets caught out with his pants down. Was not ready for this. Silky droned up too much. Made too many workers. Boys are being pulled. He can afford to lose them. Queens are coming into support as well. We're just flooding roaches across the map. And Rex, it looks like he has too much. He's breaking through. Yeah, too many reinforcements. Too many roaches. The Queens are falling. And Rex, he's going to be extending the lead here for his team. Firefly did well in the first best of 2, and Rex, he kicked things off once again with a win as well. Silky just cannot hold. He cannot defend. More boys being pulled. But it may just be too little too late. As the Roach army is just too much here from Rex. There are only a handful of Roaches left. GG gets called, and Rex, he does bounce back. He does take game number 1. Ooh, GG. GG, well played. This was basically like a game of chicken here. Who drones, who doesn't? At what point do we cut workers? At what point do we stop making roaches? And it was quite back and forth is what I will say. There were some moments for either player, but in the end, or towards the end there, we saw that after the initial defense, Silky assumed that Rex was droning. Silky was wrong. That's kind of what it came down to. He just assumed that Rex would be droning and Rex would be going for a longer game. I had made that assumption as well, and then we noticed, hold up, Rex hasn't made a single drone in quite some time, and he just doubled down, went for like a 2.5 base all in, did not saturate his third, and did overwhelm his opponent. That's a scary thing here about ZVZ. That's something you have to always bear in mind, is your opponent droning or not? It's so important to get eyes on this. It's so important to get eyes on your opponent's third base saturation and your opponent's natural saturation as well. Oh, hello. Oh my god. Oh, we're just pointing out some of the openers here. Wait, what are we looking at? Who is this? Barcode Zerg. 5 is... Wait, what? I don't know what they're saying. No. I don't know, Papi. I don't know. This is not the game we just casted, by the way. But they are showing a ladder game. Okay. They're looking at a game where was that a 12-11? Sorry, my apologies. Because that was a 12 pool there on the thing. I think they were pointing out are all a part of Team Vitality, and they have made a sister team called OFFSYDE. But here we go in the bottom right hand corner. We have for OFFSYDE Rex. And in the top left, we have, for the Starving Camels, Silky. Here we go. But yeah, OFFSYDE is a sister team here to OnSide Gaming. And yeah, it's really great to see them support some other up-and-coming players. Rex, uThermal, Firefly. I think Control is on OFFSYDE as well. Gemini, potentially. I know Gemini is working on their social media team. Does work for them. So it is really cool to see that even though OnSide was acquired, and even though OnSide, you know, their key players are doing well for themselves, they're still willing to support, you know, some of the more up-and-coming players out there, not just the best of the best. So we do appreciate it. We do appreciate it. True. Partnership. True. Not quite acquisition. Partnership. Yes. But we do appreciate it that, again, that despite the partnership with Team Vitality, they're still willing to, you know, support Rex, Firefly, and uThermal. It's really cool. Really do appreciate it. Lot of love from OnSide. As from here, we're getting into our Hatch Gas pool. Standard openers so far. We did see some more quirky builds out of Rex in Game 1, but here, Hatch Gas pool, standard play. Yeah, Control, Rex, Firefly, Gemini, and uThermal. Yeah, exactly. Really new up-and-comers. Maybe new up-and-comers isn't the best way, but rising stars is maybe a better way to put it. I think we can all get behind the hype that is Firefly. Like, I'm a massive Firefly fan. After 2023, how could you not be? I say this all the time, but I do think the Firefly is the rising star of 2023. Like, he's like one of the most standout players there when it comes to the rate of improvement and really just having a bombastic showing in WTL in general. Great guy, great player. I'd love to see a Firefly with Vitality to keep his run going. I mean, you say that, mate. It's too soon to say that, Bobby. What do you mean? No faith in OFFSYDE to make it into Code S? Shaking my head, Bobby. Shaking my head. I believe in the power of Firefly. But I know that Tassad is also a really big Firefly fan. So getting into this at all. Thank you so much for the $30 tip. Gracias, papi, gracias. Thank you so much. I believe that is from the owner of OnSide. Thank you. We do appreciate it. Kamsahamnida. Thank you. Always do appreciate it. Again, all the money that we earn here on the channel goes towards the tournaments that we host and the tournaments that we run. So thank you so much. We actually just casted Sea Duckling Open, a bronze to diamond tournament. Just casted our diamond tournament earlier today, and we're able to afford, or we're able to fund those events thanks to the support that we get. So thank you. As we are settling into this. Now, as we settle into this, I know that we weren't quite talking about the game, but it was just Hatch Gas pool. Standard build so far from both players. We are getting into the Ling Bane phase of ZVZ. We skipped it in the previous game. We were trying to rush into Roach v Roach, but now the Ling Bane aggression is upon us. Third bases are being taken, and we'll see if Rex can hold on to that third because Silky is moving out. Silky is moving out here. Bailing has arrived. Rex not quite ready. His own Bailings are just around the corner. How good is the control going to be? Oh, as first Bailing does zone Rex away. Likewise, is able to zone away the Lings of Silky. Queens are pushing forward. And the Bailings are going to be focused down. Good control here by Rex. Does focus down the Bailings and no big connections on Rex's army. He saves his third base. He takes down 3 Bailings. A very efficient trade from our blue Zerg player. Whew. Very nicely done. And with that, we are settling into Roach play. We're going to be droning up, getting into our Roach Warrens. I believe the Roach Warren is done for both players. Yeah, both Rex and Silky. We do have a bit of a Ling run by. We get the Queen. Oh, Queen is surrounded. Rex just a little bit out of position. Was out of position. Does get caught out. We're a little bit greedy. We try to go for a second Queen, but alas, it is kept safe. Is kept alive. So despite all the dead Bailings, at least Silky is able to catch a Queen. So we have a bit of a give and take here. A bit of a back and forth. Roaches are amassing for both players. We can see that Silky is joining up behind this, so is Rex, so we're working towards the mid game. We are making roaches, that is true, but we're not committing. As Silky's moving out, you can see here on the production tab, Silky is still droning, so it looks like he's posturing more than anything. I'm not so certain he really intends to commit. I say that, he is morphing in some Bailings. is rallying his army over. Likewise, Rex getting in position. Is getting set up. And there we go. You can see that Silky's droning. So it looks like Silky from here, he may just back off and go back home. This is a big part of ZVZ. Because Overlords are a resource, because map vision is a resource, you can use it against your opponent. As Silky is going to push on forward. At the same time, Rex going for a Ling run by. He does head over towards that third base. Meanwhile, Silky will pull back. And drones are going down. Silky out of position, not ready for the run by. 6 drones fall, and we get into the natural base. There's no Bailey to defend. We get on top of the queen, and Silky is racing back home. Remember, Silky did not intend to push in. He wasn't going to commit. He wasn't going to push. And now he's bleeding out back at home. He's racing back home as well. Did not have the army to actually commit. Oh, and Rex is snowballing out of control. 16 drones go down, and we're not even done. There's too many Lings in the main base. There's too many Lings on the dance floor. Roaches are moving out as well. We catch out the roaches of Silky, and it's all falling apart here. Ay, ay, ay. One wrong move, and it can all be over. We can see Silky's able to hold on with his roach army, but the Lings, they come in from behind. They collapse on these roaches. Very efficient trade here by Rex. And GG gets called. Rex will take down Silky 2-0. And OFFSYDE will advance on here into the next round. We'll take at least the 4-0. GG, well played. A strong performance here out of OFFSYDE so far. Firefly able to survive the cheese of TooDming. Rex able to catch Silky off guard more than once. Remember, in game 1, we saw a 2.5 base all-in out of Rex, where he cut workers at 47, and Silky over-droned. Here, in game number 2, Silky was just out of position. He was posturing with his main army as he was droning, and he was caught with his pants down. He was caught with his pants down, the army was out on the map, nothing at home to defend, as he was droning, so no reinforcements. And that was just the beginning of the end. GG, well played. Whew. Rex takes the 2-0, but if you're a fan of StarCraft, if you're a fan of these teams, and if you want some more action here, we're not done. I believe, despite the win being secure for OFFSYDE, uThermal versus Esplar will still play out. If I'm not mistaken, I think it may come down to the teams. They may decide and agree amongst themselves not to play out the series because it doesn't matter as much. So I'm a little bit on the fence on that. But it's very possible that uThermal and Esplar will still play out their series, still play out their best of 2. Here we go. And yep, there it is. We are still playing out this best of 2. It's going to be on Crimson Court. Let's go. Let us go. As uThermal is going to be going up against the up-and-coming Terran player Esplar here, the Chinese Terran. We have spoken about him in the past, but the Starving Camels, again, their lineup was significantly impacted by losing their strongest players in Firefly and Cyan. They have since picked up a more amateur up-and-coming player, Esplar. I'm very unfamiliar. I've only casted his games here in WTL, and he does look promising. He does show to have potential. That is true. But he's very inexperienced. A very inexperienced player, more of a ladder hero in my understanding. Is more of a ladder hero, and we'll see if he's able to keep up with the likes of uThermal. Now, uThermal is playing random, and he is no longer a full-time pro player like he once was. You know, back in the day, he was one of the best Terran players outside of Korea. He had his own time in the sun, got his own championship wins as well. A very impressive career by uThermal, and nowadays he runs a very successful YouTube channel. Very successful. I think his ID in game is YouTube Man. He makes a lot of YouTube content, and it's pretty good. It's pretty damn popular. But it's really cool to see that uThermal, as of late, has come back to competing. Over the past couple of months, he's become more and more active in the ESL Open Cups, in WTL, in the qualifiers. I remember last season, I believe uThermal was playing for Team Roddy. I think he was playing for Team Roddy in the qualifiers of the previous season of WTL. And he's been very active. He's been much more active nowadays. As was being mentioned in the chat, he's not at the level he once was. Like, he's still really strong with his Terran. But nowadays he plays random. So it's a lot more up in the air. It's a lot more difficult to predict here. So best of luck when it comes to your predictions, because uThermal, his Terran may be good, but his Protoss and Zerg are much more up in the air. Whenever he plays Zerg, it's an all-in. If you've tuned in recently, you would know that it's always an all-in if you ever roll Zerg. Protoss, he can play out the mid-game. We have seen him do that before, depending on the matchup. So his Protoss is a little bit more flexible. I would say his Protoss is his second strongest race. Of course, his Terran is where he's at his best. And here we go in the top right-hand corner. He's going to be rolling his Protoss. It is uThermal for offside. And in the bottom left, we have his opponent. We have Espar for the Starving Camels. Let's go. He's a ladder hero like all of us. True, papi, true. He's a man of the people. Espar, let's go. Take us to Code SR. To the moon, papi, to the moon. One step closer offside. One step closer here to Code S. I mentioned before, we already have 2 teams confirmed for Code S. And from my understanding, we have 4 teams fighting for 1 spot. 4 teams fighting for 1 lone spot for Code S. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy here for any of these teams. Wish them all the best here, as we will soon crown our 3 Code S qualifiees in the coming days. As we have rolled our Protoss, the YouTube man himself, he's coming out swinging here with a Protoss. Let's go. I think he's called YouTube man on NA, and I think he's called Protoss fan on Europe. It's called Protoss fan on Europe. I can't remember what he's called in Korea. But let's go. As Espar, what I will say about our lovely up-and-coming Chinese Terran player here is that there's a lot less pressure on him now. You know, the reality is that the Starving Camels, they have been knocked out of Code A. They cannot win this series. And because that means that Espar can play without too much pressure on his shoulders. You know, there isn't his tournament life on the line or anything like that. He can play his heart out now and focus on the game. It is going to be a Rax Expand. It was a single gas opener here from Espar. Just a single gas geyser. So a more economic build here from our Terran. Meanwhile, uThermal back at home, soon to throw down his tech of choice. Cybercore is done, and we'll see if he goes for a Stargate, a Twilight Council, or a Robo. We shall see. And we have our answer. It is going to be the Stargate. Okay. Stargate opener out of uThermal. Now, what I love out of uThermal is, especially, even with his Terran, I should emphasize, even with his Terran, uThermal is a very unorthodox player. He can play Standard with his Terran, and he can play Standard with his Protoss as well. Don't get me wrong. He has it within him to play Standard. But more often than not, he's a YouTube man, okay? He's a content man, and he likes to spice these up. He likes to win with style, is what I should say. You know, he has that kind of flair to him. So we'll keep our eyes on uThermal. For now, everything looks standard. For now, everything looks normal. I'm just saying that I wouldn't be too surprised if he does kind of like throw in a bit of a twist there and does do something a little bit more unorthodox. For now, Oracle first. It is going to be an Oracle first out of uThermal. Going to be moving out across the map. Looking to harass. With this Oracle-based opener, that means that this might not be Phoenixes, as in we may just avoid Phoenixes entirely and transition into a Twilight Council instead. Reaper is going to dip in, and Espar, he's going to get a full scout of the main base. He does get eyes on the Stargate and the Oracle. Espar, he sees all, he knows all. He should be getting ready for that Oracle harass with Vikings and Cyclones back at home. Speaking of, there's a safety Cyclone in the main base. We have a handful of Marines as well split between the bases. And we are lying in wait, waiting for that as we throw down a second Stargate, and we continue Oracle production. Mass Oracle? Potentially. And this is what we spoke about. The opener was standard, but if uThermal can get away with it, he will. He does like to style a little bit. He does like to style on his opponents, if at all possible. Second Stargate's on the way. Do we keep making Oracles, or do we go into Phoenixes? Phoenixes would be a little bit more standard. Not quite standard, but a little bit more sane. That's a third Oracle. That's a third Oracle in production. Poppy, are we going to double down? I think we are. Show us the Oracle. There it is. We're going Mass Oracle. We're massing Oracles, Poppy. He knows how to win games. He knows the power of Protoss. Mate, just keep making Oracles. Do what Hero does. Fun fact, Hero has his own Mass Oracle build as well. Fun fact though, Hero usually does Mass Oracle. I say Mass Oracle, it's like Oracle charge all in on 3 bases. Usually whips that out against Zerg, not quite against Terran. So I'm happy. I'm excited. We'll see if Espar can figure out what's going on. You know, winding it back here to the perspective of the Terran player, Espar has yet to confirm the follow-up. He saw the initial Oracle, but that's all he's seen. He hasn't seen the main base to see what kind of follow-up tech there is. Doesn't know what's coming his way, doesn't know about the Mass Oracle. Stim is not done. Stim is not done. He's moving out. As he moves out, the Oracles, they're moving in. The Oracles do move in, they wreak havoc, SCVs are going down, one after the other. 8, 9, 10 SCVs go down and counting. And even if there were Marines back at home, they don't have stim, they cannot keep up, not with these Oracles, not with this many. As we are just going to town, and Espar, he's forced all in. It's all or nothing, he does have 2 tanks. But time is working against him, he needs to go here and now. Cannot slow down. The longer this goes on, the better it is for uThermal. As we get 27 SCVs across the map, 29, 30 SCVs. Shield battery goes down, no overcharge. And we gotta keep pushing, we gotta keep going. Boys are being pulled, more Oracles have arrived. Stim is done for the Terran. Stim is complete. As uThermal supply blocked. Uh-oh. Big supply block here for uThermal. Another pylon gonna be going down. uThermal, he will not break out of this supply block, not anytime soon. Unless he does throw away some units. There we go, Oracles, they come in from behind, they take down one of the tanks. Good pick off. And they're going for the other. Second tank is going to be targeted down. Only Marines, only a Cyclone remaining. We are cutting our hearts out, but it looks like we just do not have enough. Espar gets forced back, and uThermal holds, and he's on 3 bases. We have 40 workers against 17 SCVs. So the third start, we don't even need a third. We don't even need a third Stargate, but you know what? Why not? We throw it down anyway. And we are still committed to Mass Oracle, even against the Mass Dim Marine. Bold move here by uThermal, but honestly, with enough Oracles, you can do anything. You can even shoot up Copian, as the Viking has arrived. Phoenixes are now on the way. I do appreciate that uThermal's transitioning out of Mass Oracle into Phoenixes. Ooh, those are kills, not cancels. And the Marines, they bust into the base, and uThermal, he ignores the army. He doesn't turn around. Does not turn around. Adepts, they try to hold on to the main base. A lot of probes are falling. This is getting close. 19 probes go down across the map. The Marines, they're wreaking havoc. They're busting into the main. They take down the Phoenixes. Again, uThermal, he chose not to come back home. He takes down every single worker across the map. But back at home, can he hold on to his main base? Marines, they're going for the pylon, but there's 2. Overcharge will barely keep that pylon alive, but alas, there's just too much DPS. The pylon goes down. And now we're going for the final pylon. Boys are being pulled. There's only a handful of Marines left. And uThermal, he should clean this up. The Oracles, they've made it back home. And uThermal even shuts down the medevac as well. He's held. uThermal did go down to 18 probes. Doesn't have an ideal economy, but it's better than the Terran. That's all that matters. And you know what? He still has Mass Oracle. How many is that? What? 9, 10, 11 Oracles? Jesus. That's a lot of Oracles, Bobby. Once again, as we're moving up. Sorry, 9. Okay, 9 Oracles in total. But we have more on the way. As we threaten the main base, Stasis Trap goes off. Ay, ay, ay. There's that 10th Oracle. Yeah, we focus down the mules. We focus down the mineral line. All the SV is going to be going down. And Espar, he's just running out of steam, running out of everything. There's only so much you can do with man with gun. It's a good unit, but it's not that good. We take down one of the Oracles. We take down another. But there's so much more where that came from. And GG is going to get called. GG, well played. uThermal will take game number 1. Whew, GG. Again, uThermal, I mentioned before that whenever he can, regardless of what race he rolls, he likes to have that kind of flair with his play. He likes to play these unorthodox styles, whether they're all-ins, whether they're these individual, but they sent out invites based on individual player performance in WTL and in Kung Fu Cup. But here we go, we're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have uThermal for OFFSYDE, and in the top right, we have Espar for the Siren Camels. Let's go. But I agree, I mean, obviously we spoke about it like Even with these games played out, OFFSYDE has already won the series. That is true, but you know there is still a little bit of weight behind these individual matches. Let him play, Papi. Let him play. Let's go. Let him play. As we have our answer, by the way, I glossed over it. uThermal rolls Zerg. And I mentioned this before. This is uThermal's weakest matchup, his weakest race. So if Espoir wanted to cause an upset, this is his opportunity, as we're going for a gas first. Now, uThermal, we've casted a lot of uThermal over the past month in ESL Open Cups, in WTL, in the EPT Spring Qualifiers. And I'll be honest, every time we cast him in a ZVT, uThermal has one build. He has one build and one build only. This should be a Ling rush. We're rushing into Lings, followed by a Lair, followed by a Ling Flood, and drop into the main, followed by a 2-base Hydra. He's done the same thing time and time again. I imagine that's going to be happening here, but we'll see. We'll see if that's the case, because I might be getting ahead of myself. You know, maybe he has different variations of gas first. I'm here for it. We can see uThermal, he goes for the standard natural. He doesn't go for the gold. Goes for the standard natural base instead. Again, he knows that the gold is a bait. The gold is very exposed and very vulnerable. You can see here, Link Speed is on the way, and you can see that he has not pulled out a gas. And I believe that is for a lair, not for a Baneling Nest. That's my assumption, at least, based on what we've seen from uThermal this past month. Here we go. We do see Espoir moving out with his Reaper. He is moving out across the map, trying to get a scout off, trying to get a read on what uThermal is up to. But again, with a more aggressive build, he already has a Queen, and he already will soon have Lings on the way. So do avoid that Reaper. There's that lair that we spoke about. Remember, it was Ling Speed into Lair, into Lords, into 2-base Hydra. Speaking of, Overlords should be soon getting in position. This is so we can Ling Flood and slip into the main base. There we go. You can see the Overlords, they are rotating around, allowing uThermal to gain access to that main with his Lings. And there it is. We have 10 Lings in production. Like, I'll be honest, I have not seen uThermal do anything else with his Zerg. Like, it's just been the same build over and over again. Let's go. Lings are flooding. Overlords are getting ready. It's going to be 2 Overlords outside the gold. And we're just waiting for the lair to finish. For those that are curious, you actually cannot make you can't make a Lord without a lair. Reaper goes down. Lings have been spotted. And Espoir, is he ready in the main base? Again, if Espoir survives this, it usually goes into 2-base Hydra. As you can see, gases are being taken. If you can see on the production tab, gases are being taken. We're joining up. There are those Lords towards that gold base. And there's that Hydra den. So it's 2-base Hydra following the Lords. And here we go. The Overlords, they do get into that gold base. And Espoir, he's out of position. He's waiting in the main base instead. Boys are going to be going down. Hellion does respond. It's 1 Hellion, a handful of Marines. Do we have enough? We're just denying mining time. And that's all we have to do. Just deny any kind of mining here at the gold. Deny as much income as we can. We can pick up. We get the hell out of here. There's no stim on these Marines. The Overlords, they will manage to unload on the other side. So that's 4 SCV kills. Denied mining time as well. Pretty good damage. And the Lords survive. They barely escape. Up, up. Can we get it? He wants it, Papi. He wants it. He wants the Lord. Doesn't snipe it in the end. Behind this, it's a 2-1-1 follow-up. Late 3rd CC from the Terran player. And Hydras are amassing back at home. So from here, it goes into 2-base Hydra, and it goes into a pretty brutal Hydra Ling all-in. Very Miyamika-esque. Does hit a pretty brutal timing here, as we're just focusing on the Hydra upgrades for now before building up that Hydra count. Here we go. Overseer gets into the main, gets eyes on the 3rd CC, so uThermal knows it's not a 2-base all-in. At the same time, Lord in towards that mineral line as well, and there's only 1 Marine to defend. Yeah, only 1 Marine. It's going to go down. SCVs as well. Hellions, they do respond in time, though. do manage to respond. Only 2 SCVs go down. That could have been so much worse. And uThermal, he is cutting workers at 44. That is 2 base saturation. And he's amassing Ling Roach. Sorry, Ling Hydra. Like, if uThermal wanted to, he could take a third. He could expand and drone and go for a longer game. But no, that's just not the kind of player uThermal is. That's just not uThermal. So here we go. He is moving out. Ling's dropping into the main. And honestly, Espar, all he has to do is defend. Like, he's got a 3rd CC. All he has to do is weather the storm, cash these Dropper Lords, cash these Hydras, and he can bounce back. Like, he's not in a bad position. He's mining from the gold. Speaking of, we do get behind it. Oh, we do deny mining here at the gold base. 5 SCVs go down. Tank is getting in position. And the tank will siege. Tank will siege. uThermal, he wants it. He wants the tank and he will get it as well. There's no repairs, not in time. And we continue to deny mining time here at the gold base, which means Espar is on a 1 base economy. Oh, he's stuck on 1 base. Stim is done, but we can't engage. Another tank has arrived. And uThermal is going back into the main with another drop. I believe. I could be blind. I think there's another drop lord in there. Yeah. I know. I can see. Drop lord went back in. 9 workers went down in total. I'm just going to be rotating around towards that main. Tank is not in position. uThermal knows that. He sees with his changeling that there are no tanks in sight, which means we can break on through. Good stutter stepping here from uThermal. He busts through the front door, knocks down those depots. That's a lot of Marines, but you have to respect it. But the SimCity working against the Terran is working against him. The Hydra's trading with the Marines. They barely break through. Not the best trade there out of uThermal, but he's camping the production nonetheless. And Marines are falling left and right. Tank is repositioning. Can we get the starport? Oh, the starport. It does go down. Big pick off. We're going for the tank as well. And uThermal, he may just have too much. Just barely. It's so close. The Marines are going down. The tank is exposed. And the final tank goes down. GG gets called. uThermal, he breaks the main base. And uThermal will take the 2-0. OFFSYDE will take a 6-0 win against the Starving Camels. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations to OFFSYDE as they will claim their 3-0. A dominant performance by all 3 players. Shout out to Firefly, shout out to Rex, and uThermal as well. GG, very well done. My condolences to the Starving Camels. Again, they did well for themselves making it this far in the qualifier in Code A. Unfortunately, they could not hold their own here in the end. Silky, you know, he had a back and forth against Rex, so did TooDming. I appreciate the all-ins that TooDming did attempt against Firefly. It was a lot of fun. I recommend checking out the VODs. These were some fire games. Not a lot of late game. If you're looking for some late game, this was not the series for it. It was a fast 6-0. A lot of all-ins, a lot of unorthodox play. I mean, uThermal went mass Oracle. He went mass Oracle, for Christ's sake. It was crazy. Crazy. GG, well played. With that, thanks so much everyone for watching. Shout out to Rainer. Oh my god, Bappy. Big shout out to Rainer here for the 1,000 viewer raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Hope you're having a great time in Korea. Do know that uThermal has been training in Korea in preparation for the GSL. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you're having a great time, and welcome everyone. Welcome to the WTL. We're about to go on a break. Here. We just casted our first best of 7. OFFSYDE 6-0'd the Starving Camels. Again, I recommend the VODs. It was a lot of good fun. Some fast games. A lot of fast games. We're going to be going on a short break. When we return in 3 minutes, we have Club NV versus Hyperberg. See you then. Take this moment. Hydra, stretch roaches, massage your Marines, get some snacks, and be back here in 3 minutes with some more StarCraft. See you soon.